And to kick off our first Hamo Chat segment for 2025, joining us in studio today is the talented Samoan creative artist and entrepreneur, To'o Filiva'a Stretton, who is the owner of JS Carvings. Today we'll dive into his journey as a master carver, his passion for preserving the Samoan culture through his art, and the inspiration behind his unique creations. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the show Losunga To'o Filiva'a Stretton I Lenea Woli. Talofa lava, brother, welcome to the show, man.
Talofa lava also, I tele lava for the opportunity just to be here. I'm very privileged, very honored to even have this opportunity. So thank you to yourself, to everyone from PMN for just giving me this platform. It feels quite surreal to even be here. So thank you so much for just giving me your time.
Thank you, man. Also. Thank you for making, your time as well. I know you're a very busy man, juggling many hats, as well as, a family as well. So appreciate you coming in also. As we do with all our guests, before we get into the business side of things, we give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Who is Jim? Where you're from, who you're representing, your villages, and all of that good stuff. So,
thank you so much also. So talofa lava everyone, my name is To'o Filiva'a Stretton. I hail from the villages of Iwa, Salilolonga, and Saletmoa. Proud Afkashi, and I think outside of my carving business, the things that I'm just most proud of is I have a beautiful family. My wife, Naomi Stretton, former Miss Samoa, New Zealand 2016. She's going to be very angry at me for saying that, but that's all right.
You have to do it.
She's not here right now, so that's all right. But very proud of my wife. I got the most beautiful wife. I got the most beautiful two little troublemaking kids. Yes. My son's almost 4. My daughter's almost 2. And yeah, I'm very blessed to be a father. And I think everything that I do through my carving business, through my work in the community, I think I just hope that I can make them proud. And yeah, that's simply, I'm just a man trying to make his family proud. I got 2 beautiful parents as well that have taught me everything I know, that have instilled all the values into me. And so I hope that through this carving business and just through all my endeavors, I can honor their work as well. So that's me outside of my carving business, and probably didn't answer your question, but
safe, man. Safe. Hey, what you do, what you got to do, bro. And big shout out to Naomi and the kids for holding it down. And I'm glad you brought that up also, because the last thing you want to be is locked out when you get home for not making shout out to Naomi. So talofa lava, Naomi, if you're tuning in this afternoon. Look, tell us about your journey. As a carver, as a creative artist, as a business owner, focusing in on the art itself. How did you become the master carver that you are? How did you get into carving, and what made you want to pursue this avenue of work, I guess?
Yeah. I think, if I'm being truthfully honest, the thing that made me really want to embrace carving and pursue it further as a business was just as a means to provide for my family.
Yeah.
The most important thing to me is just being able to support my family.
Yeah.
I always believed that when I grew of age and was strong enough, I shouldn't be in a position where I'm still depending on mum and dad. And so for me, if it meant working 15 hours a day at a job I don't like to provide for my family, then I would have been willing to do that. And when I found out that this carving, this gift of carving was able to produce fruits that I could support my family with, I think that's what really made me want to take off and pursue this even further. I've been carving for over 15 years now.
Wow.
The inspiration came from my father, who is a master carver himself. I wouldn't call myself a master carver. I still feel like I'm a student in this game. But my father, he carved all his life, and he actually taught carving when he was younger as a teacher. So I think growing up, I always wanted to be like my dad. My dad used to work 3 jobs just to provide food for us. So although we were never rich, we always had food on the table, and we were always taken care of. And that was through my dad's hard work. So I think naturally I've just always wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
So when I found out I had a little bit of talent when it came to carving, I wanted to pursue that even more. So I've been carving for over 15 years now. It's been operating as a business officially just for over 2 years now. And we've been operating as a side hustle for about 6 years prior to that.
Yeah.
The way that it even became something is my friend was turning 21 and I offered a free 21st key for him. I'd never done a carving like that before, so I just wanted to do it for free, and that carving you would not pay $1 for because it was terrible. So shout out to Philip. I'm so sorry also, but you know, it was for free, so that's your bad. After that first one, I kind of realized, I got the support from my dad, and I realized what I had done wrong. And then from there we made another one for free for another friend of mine, and that carving was quite popular at the birthday. And luckily I was at the birthday, and when people were asking who made that key, who made that 21st key, they were pointing to me. And from there we got a few more orders, and that's when I was selling 21st keys for about $50, $100, thinking I was making a lot of money.
Making coin, eh?
But I was just happy to be carving and actually using this talent to produce something. And that was about 8 to 10 years ago. So now where we're actually, we're a bit busier now, and we're doing some things that we never thought we would be doing. I never thought that I would be being interviewed by the man Lanialo. If you told me that like 10 years ago, I would laugh, because it's been an amazing journey, this carving journey.
Tell us about the name. I'm guessing, I mean, off the bat, JS Carvings, most can probably just figure it out. But is there a special meaning behind the name JS Carvings, or is it just the brand that you like, sticking on the brand for you?
100%. Because the inspiration of this carving journey came from my father. I wanted to name it after him too. So I'm named after my dad. My dad's name is Jim Stretton.
Beautiful.
My name's Jim Stretton, and my son, we've also named Jim Stretton. So hopefully he carves or us.
Beautiful,
but that's where the name came from. The funny thing about my dad as well is he's full Balangi. And I find it quite ironic that this talent that I have, that I use to bless our Pacifica communities with, came from my dad, who's full Balangi. So I just find it's been such a crazy journey for me.
Is your dad still carving at the moment?
He still dabbles in it a little bit, nowhere near as much as he used to, because he's got some issues with his back and he's not able to stand for as long. But we got a piece at home that we're slowly working on. He's doing majority of it. I'm just watching him do it, really. But he still dives into it. We got a few projects that we're going to be working on together in the future, and he also attends pretty much all of my carving workshops. So he opens up the space and he helps people understand the essence of carving and not just the action of it.
Apart from you've shared about the inspiration that your father has given you to pursue this, and apart from, I guess, the business and the side hustle kind of thing, motivation behind it, what is it about like wood carving? Because you look like, if you look across your social media, you're a very talented artist just in general. Like, what else motivated you to kind of follow the wood carving? You could have, because I've seen you've done some big murals and paintings and that kind of thing.
Love doing those
is that another side of the business and hustle that you're kind of moving into, or is it just purely carving?
No, definitely. We were so lucky last year to have quite a few opportunities to create these massive murals for the community. So that's definitely something that we want to continue. But I guess the core of our business will always be carving. I was always interested in it. Every time I saw carving, every time I saw my dad's carvings or anyone's carvings, it just always really stood out to me as a unique form of art, especially for Pacifica. I feel like we've almost lost the sense of that. If I was to ask you who's the Pacific carvers that you know, it would be hard to answer that question. But our people historically were amazing carvers. I mean, that's how we built our boats to navigate these oceans that we now call home. And we engraved these beautiful depictions on them. So I think there was just always a natural beauty from carving that I saw. And I think I really love to dive into it, other than the inspiration from my dad. So and I hope that I can help revitalize that knowledge, especially for us here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, where we have less and less opportunities to embrace our indigenous roots and our indigenous culture. I hope that through the work that I'm doing, we're able to help revive that in a way.
Yeah. Let's talk pits and peaks of the carving space, or the creative space that you work in. Let's go pits first, and we finish on the peak. What's been the most challenging part of this whole journey as an artist and as a business owner? What's been the most difficult or the most challenging part of the journey?
Yeah, there's been so many. From a business point of view,
Yeah.
the most challenging part for me that I still struggle with is when you get taken advantage of
Yeah.
and ripped off by your own people.
Right. What does that look like? Also, share a
Yeah.
bit about that. What does that look like?
Give you an example. There's been so many examples, but one example that sticks out is I did a 21st key for a Samoan lady, and she was doing it for her granddaughter. When it came time to pick up the 21st key, she had agreed to pay me the full amount on pickup. When she got there, she told me, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She was literally in tears, saying, "I'm so sorry, we had to spend that money on some of the birthday, but after the birthday, we would be more than happy to pay you the full amount. So, but if it's okay, could you please just let us take the key for the birthday and we'll sort you out tomorrow?" And I said, "Of course, what am I going to do?"
Yeah.
I think anyone that's Pasifika, that has a heart, wha'alawalu to our elders, of course I'm going to give it to her. I think the thing that broke my heart the most is after I gave it to her, she said, "I was praying on the way here for some grace. I was praying for your forgiveness, and I was praying that you would be willing to do it." So, so she kept using the Lord's name.
Yeah. Pulling at the heartstrings, eh?
Yeah. And then, so I gave her the key, and then the next day I messaged her, no reply. Next day I messaged her, no reply. And then she just fully blocked me on social media.
Wow.
Yeah, and although I've been told from so many people, and I totally understand that part of my business practice needs to change,
Yeah.
I still don't feel like that gives people the right to take advantage of that.
Yeah. It's such a hard juggle, right?
It's
Because
really tough.
we care for our people, and we
Yeah.
understand that sometimes things don't always,
Yeah.
but then at the same time it's like, hey, they muck
Yeah.
around, eh?
And the tough part is, like, I have screenshots.
Right.
If I wanted to, I could
Yeah.
take that route and blast it on social media. And I have thought about it. Truthfully, I have thought about it, because one of the ways to stop this is to expose these people.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I guess just through prayer and consultation with my wife and some good people,
Yeah.
that's not we don't want to take it that far.
Right.
And we feel like we don't need to. But it still breaks my heart. And the even harder part is, every time I share about this, I get flooded with messages from other Pacific business owners who are going through the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
And it's like, man, how comfortable are we getting taking advantage of our own people?
Our own.
And it doesn't reflect our values at all. Most of us, we've grown up in local, we've grown up with our elders teaching us the true way to treat people, with respect, with grace, with kindness. And I feel like part of our community has lost its way. And I think the reason why I can say that is because I've experienced it.
Of course.
We've had many people who are not Pasifika, especially in recent times, find interest in our work. And they never ask for discounts. They always pay on time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they're better than our people,
Yeah.
because I'm so proud of our culture. I'm so proud to be Pasifika. But it does expose something that, as a culture, needs to change.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I've been willing to talk about it on my social media. And I've got a lot of heat for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have come at me saying, that might be your experience, it's not our experience, that's not our people, that's only a few of your dealings, and they just really disagree with the way I've gone about it.
Yeah.
But I hope and pray that people understand that I'm just trying to expose something that needs to change. I think the first step into solving a problem is just to acknowledge that there is one.
Yeah.
And
Word.
that is something that is really tough from a business point of view, is
Yeah.
when you get taken advantage of from your own people. And there's other people that have paid for, or like ordered pieces. It might be a 21st key with a name on it, and then they pay a deposit, and then they don't end up picking it up. They don't pay, and then they just ghost you.
Right.
What do you do with those pieces?
Yeah.
You can't put it up for sale. It's got someone's name on it.
Yeah. And they're very, like, special, right? They're very
Very
specific and
And I've said it so many times, I would rather lose, I'd rather just have lost the cash. So if the key cost $2,000 to make, $500 to make, I'd prefer to just lose that $500.
Right.
Because you've put so much time, effort and energy, you put your heart and soul into these pieces to try and create something so meaningful for them. And then to get mucked around. It's almost like every time you look at that piece that's just sitting at home now,
It's like, you don't want to look at it
it brings up
anymore.
a few different emotions.
Yeah.
And so I guess my advice, the other reason why I talk about it on my platforms is I don't want other Pacific business owners starting out to make the same mistakes as me.
Yeah.
Because I acknowledge that I need better processes.
Yeah.
And I don't have everything figured out. And to the people that are saying you should have a website, you should have better systems, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm talking about it as well, so that the next generation of Pacific business owners can hopefully avoid it, because I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, social media is a funny game. If I wanted to, I could blast these people on social media, and I guarantee it would get so much reach, because I've done it once before on my personal page, and it went viral, because people love drama, people love conflict. Our people, myself, Sofi Kala, man, like, oh my gosh, did you see things cousin or auntie didn't pay? So embarrassing. And the funny thing is, when I did expose that one person, they paid straight away.
Right.
However, like, I made a decision with my wife that we're not going to do that. We don't. And other people might do it. And, fair enough, because you can't expect people to, you can't treat people like that and expect no repercussions. But yeah, if we wanted to, we could get a big following on social media by talking about it and exposing it, because people are so colour, and myself included. Anytime I see something like that, what happened?
You want to know what?
But we are trying to just be a bit more educational and a bit more uplifting and a bit more positive. So even though we're talking about it, we're not trying to, if that makes sense.
Respect that, man.
No, sure.
Coming up from the pit, up to the peaks, and the 15-year journey that you've had as a carver and the past few years as a business owner, what's been like the absolute highlight of the journey of running the business and seeing, obviously there's a small amount of customers who are the ones that don't pay and stuff, but on the whole, judging by your 30k followers on Facebook and a few thousand on Instagram, like, it's a successful business and people love the work that you're doing. What's been the highlight of all that work, man?
The highlight of this work is, through this business, I've been able to support my mum and dad. I've been able to create a living for my wife, my son, my daughter. We've never had to depend on anyone else. We've been able to bless our friends and family. We've been able to send money back home to Samoa. We've been able to bless the community. When, we've done some pieces for people that just blow me away. I can't believe that they would entrust me to create such a meaningful piece. I mean, not long ago I did a piece for two parents who had recently lost their baby, and they wanted a piece to memorialize their baby, and I was like, I just couldn't believe that they would trust me and that our work was good enough to be able to create such meaningful pieces. So I think the fact that the community really values the work that we do, because truthfully I really believe that the work we do is beautiful. We put our heart and soul into every single piece, and I mean every single piece we do is 100% hand carved. So even if it's the same design that you get, it's still its own unique piece that is different to everyone else's. So the fact that the community actually value it in the way that we value it, it's a very humbling experience. So I always feel very privileged, very blessed, and very lucky that I've been able to provide for my family. Because I know a lot of people, they're willing to work. And they're working really tough jobs, and I've worked really tough jobs. But the fact that I get to do something that I actually enjoy doing, and provide for my family, that's everything to me.
Win-win.
It's a win-win. But on top of that, the highlight is definitely coming to PMN and getting on this radio. Like, this is 100%, and nothing will ever top it, man.
Is there a piece that obviously you've thousands of pieces over your lifetime. But is there a piece that really stands out as like, if not your favorite, but maybe like in your top 10 of pieces that you've carved or you've put together?
Yeah, there have been so many. One memorable piece that I did that, yeah, it's still very, very dear to my heart is we had a couple that had, the husband had messaged me saying that his wife's dad had just passed. So literally that same night he had passed away. And they wanted a piece that would sit with him while he was going, while the body came back, and they wanted a piece to sit with him and be almost like a protection over him and the family.
Beautiful.
During that time. And then as I got talking to the Aso, he explained to me what kind of man he was, what he meant to the family, and we found out that he was a great protector for the grandkids. He was a fierce guardian for them, and he really went out of his way just to make sure that they were always safe. So the piece that we created was a stingray, a Pacific stingray.
Wow.
And the essence of that piece is stingrays are, although they are beautiful, they're feared in the ocean. Even as humans, if I see a stingray,
you'll be fear straight away.
Yeah. So stingrays, they're these amazing protectors and guardians, and that's what resembled him. And so when we created that piece, there's some beautiful pieces of it sitting with him. And then once he passed away, that's now a reminder for them at home of who he was, and that'll stay with them for generations.
Beautiful.
And just the fact that they would trust me to create such a meaningful piece, I have no other option but to put my heart and soul into that piece. He even said to me, it doesn't have to be ready until I'm ready, because he knows carving is it takes a long time. But I stayed up that whole night from 6 p.m. to about 5 a.m. the next night, just to get that finished so that it was there before the body came home.
Wow.
Yeah, and he said as soon as the wife saw it, she was in tears. So that was a really meaningful piece. There's been so many though.
I can
That's
imagine.
just one example.
The work that you do and the carving space, I know that there is, I've seen on your page on IG and Facebook that you're now moving into opening up that space for the community and for anyone, organizations and businesses and the corporate space or the community space to get their hands dirty, I guess. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
You're right.
Personally, I believe that there is so much power in our indigenous practices and our indigenous knowledge. I've been working in the Pacific mental health space for over 5 years now, and one thing I've learned is the power of our cultural identity.
Right.
And the more we connect with our cultural roots, the better it is for our overall well-being. And here in New Zealand, we have fewer and fewer opportunities to actually connect with our Pasifika culture. I mean, for me, I still remember the first time I ever did a umu. That was the most amazing experience of my life.
Right.
I was like, man, I've never felt so Samoan. But if you go back to the islands, that's just the everyday practice.
It's normal, yeah.
But over here, we have very limited opportunities to, do a umu, to go work the land, all these things that I would love to do. And carving is something that is becoming even more rare, not just in New Zealand, but back in the islands as well. I'm getting flooded with requests, and I'm talking about daily, of people asking me for tips on how to carve. They'll send me pictures of their wood, of their tools. Is this the right wood?
Sure.
Is this the right tools? And I feel like it's such a beautiful position to be in, to actually be able to support them. And so these carving workshops is to address that need. If people really want to learn, then we've created these workshops so you have an opportunity to learn it. And I'm not trying to keep this knowledge just to myself.
Right.
Just because I own JS Carvings doesn't mean I don't want to see all of our Pasifika people who are talented enough to embrace this gift as well. So if I can host these workshops and give people a chance to connect with their culture and possibly have the opportunity to spark their interest into any of our other upcoming Pasifika creatives, then that'll be amazing for me. Yeah, it's crazy. how much talent there is in our Pasifika, a small Pasifika world.
Yeah.
We have the most talented musicians, talented artists, but trying to find a way to actually make that a profitable business,
Right.
or to find a way to make a career out of that is quite tough.
Of course.
So the other part of these workshops is to also show people that, man, you can do something with this creative gift. If you have a different creative gift, there are ways that you can do something more than just create that art. You can teach people and make a living that way too. So yeah, I've done quite a lot of private workshops last year, but the problem with those is it wasn't open to the public.
Of course.
And many people would see the workshops that we do and say, can I attend the next one?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, that's exclusively for this particular organization.
Yeah.
And I also think the beauty of having a public workshop is I'm only going to have people that really want to be there.
Right.
And that's going to be quite a beautiful experience. Because last year, and not that any of the workshops were bad, I think they were all so powerful, so meaningful. But you did have like a few of those people that, just want to go outside and vape. Don't really want to be here. And fair enough. My work's forcing me to be here. I'd rather be somewhere else. And like, by all means, I totally understand.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited to be hosting these public workshops because you're only going to hopefully get people that want to be there. Yeah.
What do you, so tell us about the workshops, how we can register, where they'll be. Is there a cost, and I guess what will happen? What do we get out after the workshop? Like, do we get a diploma and carver? No,
100%. 100%. You can get a job anywhere.
And what do we? Tell us a bit about that. How we can get in touch and register for these workshops, bro.
Thanks, Uso. So the best way to register for our workshops is first you have to follow our page. Just trying to plug my page.
Of course.
And then you'll see on our posts that we have a link for our workshops. The problem is we have limited spaces available.
Right.
The cost for the workshops right now for our public workshops is $100. The reason why we've had to make it $100 is because we have to prepare the wood. You also get to keep the wood. And we also provide you with the carving tools, and those tools you can go home and take them with you.
Cool.
I made these workshops purposely like that because the last thing I want to do is give people an interest in this work, and then give me the chisels and give me the wood back. Sorry, mate, you're gonna have to find your own. Because of so many people are interested in it and they want to carry on doing it, so it's cool. That's a beauty for me. So you get the wood, you get your own carving kit, and it's $100. And our most recent one coming up is not this Saturday, but it's next Saturday in Pukekohe. You can sign up through the link on my page. However, we only have I think about 7 spots left.
True.
So as soon as those spots are full, and if we don't get it full, that's fine too, because like I said, I'm happy to just carve for whoever shows up.
JS Carvings on Facebook is if you're watching on Facebook, we've tagged the page in the description of this live stream. So go on and follow the page. The link for registrations is there. You might see me at the workshop also. You just might see me at the workshop. But as we kind of round up our talanoa, and I'll catch up this afternoon also. Just briefly, because you mentioned you work in the Pacific mental health space.
Yes.
So, JS Carvings isn't your full-time job?
No.
True. So what's your day job? What do you do? What's your 9 to 5?
I got a really, really good job at Filiva'a Pacifica. So Filiva'a Pacifica
next door neighbours, just around the corner?
Just down there.
Yeah.
So it's a Pacific mental health and wellbeing organization. And our sole purpose is just to support Pacifica communities and families to have the best possible health and wellbeing outcomes, and to hopefully help them unleash their full potential.
Awesome.
And I work in the Pacifica youth space, and it's a beautiful job.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and it does get busy though, so I do that full time.
And then come home and do the carving.
Come home and carve full time.
Shucks.
I think one thing that I do want to do is just acknowledge the team that I have behind me, because none of this would be possible without them. I might be the face of JS Carvings. I might be the one in the videos doing all the carvings, but if it wasn't for my wife, my wife studies and she works, and she comes home and then looks after the kids, and then at about 11 o'clock that's when she'll go up and do her assignments.
Wow.
And she'll do her studies. And last year, I was so amazed at her. She won 2 awards and 2 scholarships
Wow.
through her hard work and her results. One of the awards that she won wasn't even a Pacifica award. Not that there's anything wrong
Right.
with Pacifica awards,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was a mainstream award
Me.
in the University of Arts, and she won a resilience award for her academic results.
Wow.
And I don't know how she did that, because she carries so much at home to allow me to be able to carve full-time at home while she takes care of the kids. We also have my little sister, Belia Fruin. You know, I feel for her because she's got 2 jobs. She studies as well, and she comes home, she's tired. But when my kids, you know, they need a nappy change, or if they're getting a bit,
Yeah.
you know,
Bit Ulavali in the
yeah,
afternoons.
a bit tough, then we lean on her so much.
Yeah.
Every single night, my son's not able to sleep unless she goes and puts him to sleep.
Right.
When I try and put him to sleep, he just laughs in my face. And then we also got my mother-in-law, so Siva Fruin, who, you know, she works 6 days a week. On Friday, she finishes at around 2 a.m. And because the weekends are where I can smash out the most of my work,
Yeah, of course.
she'll be looking after the kids as if she didn't just have only 4 hours sleep. And
Right.
so although, yes, I'm the one that is the face of JS Carvings, man, none of this would be possible without the support of my family at home, without the support of my mum and dad. My mum, who, you know, when I was a poor uni student, she paid for all of my carving tools, all of my wood, all of my materials.
Wow.
And sometimes she would let me not do fair hours if she knew I was busy with carvings. And,
Yeah.
you know, that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
And my dad, just for inspiring me and teaching me. So although, yeah, I might be the face of JS Carvings, it's a collective effort. It's really taken a village to get to where it is. So I just want to acknowledge all of you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work and getting to where we are right now, to the pinnacle of, you know, South Auckland on PMN, you know, radio station right now.
Let's go.
Nah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Look, just before we wrap up, just you know, on behalf of the PMN Samoa team, just want to thank you again for coming in today, and thank you for sharing, man. You know, we hear and see, and I'm sure everyone who's listening in and watching in, we hear and see your heart, like your genuine heart for the craft, you know, for your family, your team. I love that you acknowledged your team, and, you know, everyone, your base that helps you do what you need to do, and that's very admirable, and you know, a lot of respect to you for that also. Wishing you all the best. If you are listening and you are looking for a 21st key, or any kind of carving, custom made, handmade carving, bespoke work from the Uso Gym, To'o Filiva'a Stretton, from JS Carvings, you can follow them on Instagram. They have a very healthy following on Instagram and Facebook, JS Carvings. Get your orders in. Make sure you pay. Don't be that guys. Don't be that guy who doesn't do the payment. Or, you know, but, you know, thank you again also for today. Wishing you all the best. Any last shout outs you want to make before we wrap up?
No, just thank you so much. And I think the last thing I'll just leave everyone with is, you know, amazing poet, amazing academic Albert Wentz said, if we don't tell our stories, someone else will. So I really hope that this carving business can be very fruitful, so that I can show our next generation of Pacifica creatives coming through that, you know, these stories need to be told from us, because if other people tell them, they're going to tell it wrong. They're going to get it wrong. So, yeah, I just hope, I really hope and pray that the next generation of Pacifica youth will really rise up. And I feel like what we need to do is actually show them. They're getting tired of us telling them that they can do it. It's better if we just show them the way.
Right.
So thank you so much again. And it's been an honor to be here, Ronnie.
Thank you, so. Thank you very much.